And automatically, our physical body, mental and emotional, organically come into a cohesive, divine and sacred alignment with celestial divine codes flowing in, through, and around the children of light upon the earth who have not forgotten. And as these divine codes coming in brilliant filaments from the radiance of the sun behind the sun behind the sun, easy accessibility as we are into the frequency of the 8-8 portal. Indeed, beloveds, we ask you now to weave the balance so needed upon the sacred earth. So needed indeed, not beyond the earth, but indeed the solar system, and beyond the solar system, into the great suns of Alcyon. And indeed, we would say to you that the balance is needed into many frequencies below the filament of the deep cosmic waters. And it is in the memory of the water that you have that flows within your physical bodies. But not only the physical body, but indeed it is in the emotional bodies of the divine human, the emotional bodies of the Adam Kadmon. For it is in the waters that great memory exists. And it is in the remembering of these codings that you hold from the Ancient of Days. Indeed, beloved, it is the memory beyond the filament. It is the memory into the ascended realms, the paradise realms, the crystallized. It is in the Shambhala realms that courses through your very DNA, that courses through the atomic and the subatomic levels of yourself. For indeed, the thoughts of the divine love of the creator of all that is flowed through in the undulating waveform, expressed as water upon the earth and upon many, many other celestial bodies. It is in the deep cosmic waters that at this time we come to you in the benevolence of our open heart of unconditional love that moves on these waves. And particularly, beloveds, we say to you, as the great angelic forces, and as the elemental came and the Vedic kingdoms, that comes from love, has made love to bring forth love of the divine creator, that you carry these most important codes, even as they have them scrambled, disassociate, and dormant. But we say, it is in you. You have it. It is in the blood. It is in the DNA. And it is into your energetic field. And it is that thing that opens your heart into pain when you see injustice. It hurts your heart when you see imbalance. It hurts your heart when you sense and feel suffering, because you hold those codes of the higher celestial realms of light, the great cosmic divine Maitreya consciousness that flows into the human body through the emotional body. So we say to you, beloveds, as we have said many times before, it is the children of light upon the earth who are the greatest alchemists, because they hold the sacred divine codes and yet wrapped into a materiality, into a bodysuit made of the earth. And so indeed we say to you, beloveds, you are the equalizers of holding both heaven and earth in balance through your higher heart of compassion and unconditional love. Your ability to be able to flow and receive the undulating waveforms from Creator Source. And even though these energetics have been barricaded, many miscreated and scrambled, it cannot stop and connect into the frequency as you open your higher heart of compassion and unconditional love. So we gather here together in this important time frame of easy access and the ability to interweave heaven on earth together through her children of light upon the earth who have not forgotten, who from their very birth, from their very remembrance, conscious or unconscious, sensed and felt and knew there was something important that was able to move beyond the indoctrination, able to move beyond the Maya, the Matrix in its newer term, move beyond the indoctrination, move beyond the square of Saturn. And in this rising up of frequency through the dedicated pathway of those who not only in this life, but in many, many lifetimes have chosen to be here to walk on this path, to bring ascension, to bring the rising resurrection as shown by the Master Jesus the Christ, that indeed each and every human, each and every sacred atom kadmon expressed upon the physical earth has the light within them, the divine sacred codes to transmute and bring a higher alchemy into a higher frequency of light and balance upon the sacred earth. And as such upon the sacred earth, she then in turns moves this frequency energy of perfect balance and anchored peace into her brothers and sisters who evolve and revolve around the great sun of Helios Vesta. As Helios Vesta moves beyond the great suns, bringing in the higher codes of the sun behind the sun behind the sun, moving beyond the gravitational pull frequency of the earth herself, that indeed her children of light upon the earth who have not forgotten hold the codes of the higher frequencies beyond the gravitational pull of the earth, beyond that of the solar system itself. Indeed, the children of the cosmic forces of the great Hunamku, the great galactic mother, bringing in the divine sacred codes ever steadily and purposefully from the higher realms of light, beyond the Azuluth worlds, and the children of light upon the earth, as they become these sacred holy vessels of light, in this divine interconnection and interweaving, stitching in the higher with the lower and the lower with the higher, to create a new creation, a new ascension, a picture of the earth in the eyes of her children and throughout the cosmos, on all levels, in all realms, in all expressions of the divine, part of the great divine plan, a cohesiveness and a singularity of a plan expansive and ancient, to come into its fruition in the cycles of cycles, in this moment and in this now. We say to you, beloveds, to hold the vibration of the higher heart of compassion and unconditional love, that which you do so well. And that is the single point of focus, is to hold that vibration, to receive the sacred codes and activate what it is here for you to do, what it is here for you to ignite others by your presence, by the very frequency that you hold that brings Shakti out into the world. Each and every holy sacred in-breath and out-breath that you bring, that your very presence and essence holds the divine sacred codes released now into this world in all of her expressions. As you choose to walk your path of light, your very breath is a prayer. Your very breath is freedom to those bounded. Your very breath, coming from your higher heart of compassion and unconditional love, heals in profound ways, in levels that you know not yet, how it moves throughout the cosmic waters, how it ignites the great cosmic Christ, the divine Maitreya, as it ripples into new forming worlds and the releasing of old ones for new creations to be done. And it is in the co-creational process and ability of the children of light upon the earth who have not forgotten to bring in the deeper levels and the frequencies beyond the reach of the higher world. And so it is in this portal of the 8-8 frequencies that the opportunity of great brilliance and the interweaving and interknitting of heaven and earth can be bounded, can be integrated and grounded with more ferocity, with more intention, and to anchor upon the earth. We ask you, beloveds, in this great weaving of cosmic energies of the past, the present, and the future, that with each and every sacred holy in-breath and out-breath, that you move in your positions as great creators, as the new Elohims that arise, as the great phoenix in the resurrection, in the Christ awareness, divine Maitreya consciousness of the higher worlds. In each and every sacred in-breath and out-breath is a stitch weaving heaven and earth, anchoring the higher worlds into the lower worlds, bringing in a new creation through the perfect balance and anchored peace. The heart's dreamings of so many. See clearly now, beloveds, with each and every sacred in-breath and out-breath, you see the infinity sign as described, a flowing as your number 8 on its side. It begins to flow from the right to the left, intersecting in the middle and moving back again. As you breathe, see this clearly in your visual and begin to experience this movement. As you begin to anchor the higher divine codes from the Absolute worlds, from the Paradise world, from the Shambhala world, as you begin to activate this within your own cellular memory, as you move it through the great 8-8 portal, moving throughout time and space, bringing into divine cosmic remembrance of perfect balance and anchored peace. As you begin to do this, drawing in the great cosmic family, a great divine alignment, as two great pillars begin to appear. And within these two great illumined pillars of the most brilliant light, this infinity symbol that you have created here in this eternal now, perfectly balanced within the two great pillars of light. And indeed, this is the divine feminine and the divine masculine, looking once again in divine plan to come into balance upon the sacred earth and all that she is connected to. As the children of light upon the earth who have not forgotten, continue to weave this infinity, perfect balance and peace between these two pillars of light, anchoring from the highest celestial realms of light into the very core of Earth Mother. And in this eternal now, this perfect balance, created and weaved by the great children, the children of light who have not forgotten, begin to continue this divine sacred alchemy of perfect balance and anchored peace. This great emergence of the two pillars we now begin to see unfold, and it is part of a much larger cosmic structure. And as it pulls in its magnetic field, this larger cosmic structure, a divine gematria begins to reveal itself. And the children of light upon the earth simply breathe their sacred breath and see clearly the two pillars weaving in the infinity symbol, moving the energy from right to left and left to right, intersecting in the middle, weaving this frequency now to create the perfect balance of heaven and earth, to create the perfect balance of male and female, to bring in the perfect balance of all polarities into the oneness that meets in the middle of the infinity. Hold this position. See this clearly in your spiritual eye. Feel the very divine dance of this deep within your cells into your atomic and subatomic level. Allow it to bring to you your cosmic memory, the remembrance of this frequency and balance that you know so well. Allow yourself to fall into this loving embrace. And as you weave the perfectness between polarities, rising once again upon the waters of the earth, rising into the solar system of Helios Vesta, rising into the great suns, moving through the suns of the great Hunamku galactic mother, as the temple of perfect balance and anchored peace becomes more intergrained, interweaved into the sacred earth and moving beyond the earth, held in place and anchored in place by the children of light upon the earth who have not forgotten, who were supported and loved and buoyed by the Ami Shaddai, the family of light that comes from all frequencies, all directions, and all expressions of the divine. See clearly as you raise it into the cosmos, the two pillars of light, and the divine sacred energy of the infinity, moving the energy between the two pillars of light, holding perfect balance and anchored peace. Holding this sacred balance in the very center, as you hold this center with each and every sacred in-breath and out-breath. Hold your positions. See it clearly in your spiritual eye. And as it emanates its divine sacred codes, it moves in and through each and every one, individually and collectively, and out into the world and beyond the gravitational pull of the earth. Allow it to move through, in and through you. Sense how it feels. Sense this energy clearly as it moves to balance you, anchor you peace, and provide great healing. And as this frequency continues to radiate, grow, and glow, no parameters. It moves in all directions, on all levels, and all frequencies, for it cannot be contained. And as you see the brilliance of the two pillars that are part of a much larger gematria, as you see clearly in your spiritual eye, the infinity symbol, and focus on the middle of where it meets. Pour in the higher heart that you hold of compassionate love, unfiltered, undiluted, unconditional. It is the glue and holds that perfect balance between the two pillars of light that moves into the higher gematria, co-created now in this moment in the hearts and minds of all those who seek to bring into fruition and manifestation the golden age of the great earth, who seek to bring into manifestation the divine plan, who seek to bring into manifestation their dharma, their mission, and their freedom. And now, as we hold this frequency of perfect balance and anchored peace, the thought of a return now comes. We remind ourselves that before we go to sleep, to think in this moment, holding the two pillars of light and the infinity symbol between them, and the golden heart of compassion and unconditional love in the middle. We plant this firmly in our intention. And as we continue to hold these codes, we will be able now to bring in our electromagnetic field as the great radiant ones who have held this divine sacred platform in this 8-8 portal begin to draw in their electromagnetic field. And as the codes from the sun behind the sun behind the sun lessen in frequency, we know to draw in our own electromagnetic field, and we prepare ourselves to be back awake and alert, forever changed, as we continue on our path of light. And on the count of 3, we will intend to be back awake and very alert. Remind ourselves to remember this before we go to sleep. 1, 2, take a deep breath in, and 3. We are back. We are awake. And we are grounded.